Joe's Astrology, and this is the astrology birth chart for Nicole Laeno. She's a YouTuber with over 3 million subscribers. As you can see, if you understand astrology, she's only, I believe, 19, 20, something like that, born in 2005. December 8th, 2005. This chart does not have the birth time. That's not the correct rising. We just have the signs and the aspects. And wow, this is very, very interesting. I've been thinking a lot about this kind of stuff lately, doing these videos. And I don't know that much about her. I watched a couple of her videos when I found her channel. And let's just start with the Sun in Sagittarius, Moon in Pisces. So we have the Sun and Moon both ruled by Jupiter, and that's a lot of exaggerated, rah-rah type energy, and we see that with her channel. She's a YouTuber, so I do want to look and focus on Uranus. She doesn't have that much Aquarius. We're kind of moving out of that 2000 era where we had a lot of Aquarius people that you'll see on the internet. She does have Neptune in Aquarius. She has this moon. We don't really know where her moon is. I'm willing to bet it's closer to Uranus than that. And we probably see like a moon Uranus conjunction in Pisces. And we can see with it, YouTube, being on the internet with that moon Aquarius. And it can be, the genius aspect especially in Pisces. I actually had some experience with some young people that were very talented, were also born in 2000, I think 2005, 2004, who had that Uranus and Pisces in their chart. And with that moon there, definitely could be a genius type person when it comes to musical ability, dancing, artistry, creativeness, making your dreams come true with Pisces, making your dreams come true on the internet. We see it's making a trine to Jupiter in Scorpio. So it's one of her good aspects, that Jupiter-Uranus trine. I have Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So anyone, she would tend to like people who also have that aspect probably. And a lot of people probably watch her channel have a Jupiter-Uranus aspect in some way. She has this Uranus-Mars, almost exact sextile. That's an opportunity. So we see her drive, her really efforts here in Taurus to make money and to use herself as a resource with the internet there. That's a big YouTuber aspect we can see. We can see there's an inconjunct to Saturn. She has a couple inconjuncts here, so I'll talk about that. It's the Virgo inconjunct. And see if there's anything else. Don't think so. Yeah, we don't have the houses, so well, we can look at Neptune. She's got Neptune here in Aquarius. It is making an opposition to that Saturn. It's trine her Juno. And it's making a sextile to the Sun there. So we do see that sextile, that opportunity between the Sun and Neptune in Aquarius. She's definitely a very Sun in Sagittarius, very happy-go-lucky, optimistic, comedic, very positive, outgoing at least in her videos. And there's a Jupiter square Neptune there as well. So we see some aspects to that Aquarius. So I'll leave it there for the the aspects about her concerning her being a YouTuber. One thing I wanted to point out with this chart is, and when you see this when you watch her videos, a lot going on with the mind. I mean, to be a young person who had that much success, and you see some of the talented dancing and things of that nature from a young age, and then to do this YouTube channel and go to school, and I'm sure she's like an A student and live your life. I mean, she's got to have a lot going on in the mind. So we'll take a look at that here. We see Mercury; it's making a trine to the Moon. Uh, it's aspecting Pluto, and the biggest one here for me is a sextile to Venus, which is in Capricorn, and Venus in the third decan of Capricorn is in its fall. So we have that like love of the mind, or that contact with Venus and the mind. It's also conjunct Chiron. So this is a person who has a lot of healing to do in this life. And I think this is what I would say that, and she's 18 or 19 years old, so I'm going to pick on her. That's just the way it's going to go. She's old enough. So it's time for her to start probably tapping into this energy. She's got a lot of healing to do in this life. And I was going to say, I think it's probably why you see her all over the place constantly, probably a type of person who constantly has to do something. I got my YouTube channel, I got this going on, I got my friends, I got my school, I got to get straight A's and study, etc., etc. And I may sound condescending or sarcastic when I say that because, well, first and foremost with me, I didn't grow up. I grew up with a lot of freedom. So I'm a freedom lover. And in my mind, it's kind of unfortunate. But with astrology, we can see why. We can see here why people like this do what they do. And she's got a lot of squares here. You can see these red lines. I mean, I'm not going to name them all off, but that's a grand square. She's got this square here between Pluto and the Moon. She's got a Pluto-Sun conjunction. So definitely a lot going on. And we see here with Scorpio, she's got a couple, Mercury in Scorpio, Jupiter in Scorpio. And with that being said as well, for someone who's like very outgoing and doesn't seem like a very deep person, yeah, it's just doesn't matter. It kind of doesn't add up. She has this Saturn here trying the North Node. So definitely someone who's coming into life with a lot of responsibility, can do a lot of things at a young age. I'll give her that, with like the YouTube channel and maybe coming into a place of responsibility at a young age, or feeling like she should be more responsible. And I will say one last couple of things here. We see the sun in Sagittarius. It's in the second decan, which is ruled by Aries. So we have a sun that's kind of exalted there. We have a Mars in its fall, and it's squaring Saturn. So probably not a person who wants to face harsh truths, wants to really face hard things in life. And that's what you see with her videos, like just all fun, and kind of just being a kind of living that life that people expect children, especially in my country, in the United States, they expect children to live as if they're owed that, as if that's normal. We see I don't know if I mentioned, the Venus is in Capricorn in the third decan of Virgo, which Venus is in its fall. So we see more, and with those inconjuncts, we see more of that mental energy of self-improvement, worrying, kind of keep the person's kind of moving all over the place because they're trying to ignore. It's just a way to kind of ignore the constantly worrying or constantly thinking, or just the craziness of the thoughts. But I wanted to mention those with the sun, that Venus isn't, you could consider it's not the greatest place to have Venus, although she has a moon, a nice Venus moon Could be a nice Venus Moon sextile, but more likely it's a semi-square because I do think it's closer to that Uranus. We see Saturn in its fall as well. So we have that Saturn Mars square, and they're both retrograde, so they're both in their fall. So you really don't see, even though you have, I mean, you have a square to Jupiter, Saturn. I just it shows a lot of challenges that this person's going to have to face in life, and that might propel her to be successful, and maybe has already. I noticed that a lot of, I don't know if this is like normal, but I noticed that the comments in her younger years were turned off. I don't know if that's a thing to like protect children or something like that. I don't know really. I don't really have any opinion on that. Just thought I'd throw that in there. As now she's older. I think her comments are turned on, uh, but definitely something. If I was commenting on her videos, I definitely wouldn't get any attention. I'm sure. But I think I will leave it at that. There's a lot more that it'd be nice if we had her birth time, a lot more that we could unpack. And I'm sure that, well, I would hope that a person like this would, with someone like me, or like if I was doing an astrology reading for her, she'd find it very interesting. Uh, Nothing that she's going to reveal on her YouTube channel, that's for sure. It's all, it's super Sagittarius. I mean, I did see some things that she kind of made light of on there, but it's still just very. I'll have to go back and check. Or if anyone made it this far and she does go into like darker sides of life, I'd be interested to hear in the comments if any of that Scorpio really comes out.